Hello, today I'm going to talk about drug addiction, in my opinion about it. I understand I don't have personal experience with drugs and I've never taken drugs. And I do know people that have over my lifetime, not within my family, but within others, that I've encountered throughout my lifetime. Um, basically, uh, my opinion about it as far as people's the reason why they take it and what they're actually doing as far as masking the pain that is in their lives or trying to escapism. And I mean, that could be anything. That could be alcohol. You know, even video games can be a drug technically, but we're talking about ingestible or injectable drugs that are bad for you and bad for you as a human being and your soul and everything. And I'd like to touch on that as far as that goes. And I know the effects of it. I mean, we all know the effects of it, and we all know that drugs are detrimental to your personality and your body and your mind, and the things that people go to, the lengths that they go to basically um, fulfill the need to take something to make their lives better or happier. I've taken over-the-counter drugs, and you know, um, my first experience with dealing with a drug was I fell and hit my back on a tub about 15 years ago, and the tub caused a bruise in the middle of my back that was extraordinarily painful, and it was hard for me to it was hard for me to move and to do like daily activities in my life, work, that sort of thing. And basically, I was taking my ex-wife's painkillers that she had from surgery. And what happened is I was taking it because it relieved my pain, but at the same time made me feel really euphoric. She had oxy in pill form, and I was taking it. I kept taking it and taking it, even when after my back was felt great. And then I realized what I was doing, and I stopped right away. And I don't even have that addictive nature. I don't have the ability to um, like I can shut it off if I was on anything. And obviously there's uppers and downers. There's cocaine. There's heroin. There's different kind of drugs that are obviously opioids, and fentanyl are the most popular right now. And they basically are masking something. The people that are taking opioids, they're they're putting themselves into a position where they feel like they can't deal with the regular world without them. Um, Obviously, marijuana is an exception these days as far as the medical benefits of marijuana. And if you are doing it to get high, that's your personal preference. That's your life. You can do that. But generally, if people take it for pain, which is proven to work for certain things, and it's better than opioids, especially for people with an addictive nature. Um, Basically, if you're using any kind of pill or any kind of any kind of escapism mechanism that will prevent you from living a normal life, especially if you're depressed or even if you just need it to just you go to the next day. Generally, you're going to live a very hard and rough life. Um, for kids that decide to go down that road, I would recommend that they nip that in the bud as far as right away, because generally most people never tried drugs in their life. And, I never even wanted to. I've seen it before. And even as a kid, I've seen hair, cocaine when I was a kid one time. And apparently some kids got a hold of it. And I saw them, what they were doing. And I ran from the woods. Me and my friend Donald. we were in the wooded area by our house and on Cardinal Road, and basically we ran from the area because we didn't know. And one of them was a guy that I knew. I was only 8 years old, but we basically um, never really had because we grew up in the church. So basically, it was a situational thing. If anybody had drugs, even up until through high school, and never had experience with drugs or even knew anybody who was strung out or anything or was doing anything. Obviously, smoking is one thing, but that's not what we're here for. Um, but basically, working at the movie theater, you smell marijuana. I mean, obviously, nobody would have marijuana with them. Um, I mean, they might in their pocket, but they would smell like it. You know what I mean? But as far as hard drugs, one time at the movie theater I was working at in Abingdon, Maryland, there was a small packet of white powder, and I assumed it was marijuana. I mean, cocaine, because why would somebody have a little bit of white powder in a little envelope at a movie theater? And basically, they I picked it up, called the police, and they kind of didn't want to make a report because apparently when they make a report, they have to dispose of it a certain way and make a full report about it and where it was found and everything. So they can have a kind of a, track record of where it's coming from. And after that, like that was the only time I've ever seen it. But basically, it's, um, that's something that people do, heroin, um, which is one of the worst. Obviously, fentanyl, which is terrible because people are dying from it. And, along with alcohol, it's like, if you generally on an upper, you're going to be sort of out of your mind and out of control. And then a downer is, you're just lazy and slow and, you really can't function in the real world. So basically, obviously, there's a lot of information out there. So if anybody is a drug addict or has any, anyone in their lives that have drug problems, you can seek help. There's plenty of AA meetings. There's people that have gone through it and they can coach you through it, and it's not the end of the world. And like your body can repair itself. Your body was designed by God to repair itself. So the sooner you get off of it, the better, and the better you can live your life in a normal life without the drugs. And then on the other half, it's I always think about before I always thought about, can a person that did drugs or does drugs, can they be seek salvation, even if they're on drugs or they've taken drugs in their life? And of course, the answer is yes. They obviously can, because God does not judge us on He judges us on our soul and the things that we do, that our heart, what our heart is. Because I always ask, if the person that's on drugs, if they if the person that's on drugs is a terrible, evil person without the drugs, God knows this. If the person is just stuck in a rut and stuck taking these drugs, and if they were off the drugs, would they feel the same? And obviously, if they're on drugs or psycho drugs or something that prohibits them from repenting and all that, that's another situation, that person's situation. But basically, in my knowledge of the Bible, it's more about like, if a person, even if a person's ODing and they feel like they're going to die, and then they repent their sins, and God will see that. God will judge you accordingly to your works, but also to your soul, because obviously it says it in the Bible, and if you believe or not, that's a fact as far as your spirit goes. And um, it, you know, if you pray during a person's um, life, and they like while they're dealing with drugs. Obviously, prayer is the most important thing because you're going to need God's help to get you through it because your body's coming off of something that it's addicted to, and um, you need that support and having loved ones and having people in your lives that will generally see you through it. And keep in mind that these are human beings. Do not lose faith in somebody who's on drugs. You should love them and care for them and give them the opportunity to get themselves clean. Obviously, it comes from the individual. They have to want to get clean and they have to want to get off the drugs. If they don't, if they personally can't, physically can't, obviously there's other methadone. That's why that exists to wean you off so that you can, if you made the decision, I'm getting off of these drugs, and you just want to get rid of it in your life. You want to be off the drugs. Basically, you just there's so many support systems out there as far as getting off drugs, but you got to want to do it. And God sees it. God knows that the effort is there, and He knows your heart, and He knows your soul, and He's not going to judge you for that. He judges you for the actions that you do if you're on the drugs. And I mean, these are the things that since I was in the hospital, that I've come to realize that these things are as important as anything as far as addiction goes. Alcohol, anything. You know, I did alcohol last night, and if you want to check it out, you can. It's I'm not doing this for money or anything. I just want to put my 2 cents out there and tell everybody that it's not too late for you to live a good, clean life and to find Jesus and get your life square because without Him, you will be dealing with a lot of problems, and life will be a lot harder without Him. And so, basically, that's my opinion on addicted drugs and drug addiction, drug. I guess you can call it drug abuse. And so, if there's anybody needs somebody to talk to about drug addiction and needs help, wants me to pray for them, wants me to discuss. I'm always open. Just to message me through the channel and message me on my Facebook if you would like at Stephen P. Majer Jr. Thank you. Have a good evening.